Hi KB, it's Mrs. Smith. I'm going to walk you through how we do our take-home books just as a reminder because it's been a little while. So I want you to find your packet of books that Mom and Dad picked up from you from school, and I want you to go on a hunt looking for Jake Plants Grapes. Again, the title of the book is Jake Plants Grapes, and it's Decodable 14. My book is right on top in my packet, but you may have to go searching for your book. Let me know when you find it. So before we get started reading Jake Plants Grapes, I want to make sure you know our two vocabulary words that we'll be hunting for at the end of our story. The first word is said, and the second word that we'll highlight is the word that. Can you repeat those words? Very good. The first thing we always do when we read our take-home stories is we need to follow along with our fingers and our eyes as Mrs. Smith reads the story to us. Okay, so follow along with me. I should see you pointing to the front cover. Jake Plants Grapes. I'm on page 3. You should be on page 3 too. You can plant grapes, said Mom. Turn the page with me. Jake, take that and dig. Plant that grape, bud. Jake. Jake did not see grapes. Jake, can you see big red grapes? Said Mom. I want to back up just a minute. Take a look real hard at the picture you see over here on the left. Especially look at the tree, the big oak tree in the background. Do you see it up there? And now look at page 7 and notice that there are some leaves on the ground and the big oak tree in the back has changed colors. Remember that plants don't grow overnight, do they, KB? They take several days, several weeks, maybe even months before they grow. So I think we see a change in the season. They planted the grape buds in the spring, and then they waited until fall before the grapes started growing and they were ready to be picked and harvested. Let's look at the last page. Mom and Jake ate big red grapes. They look delicious. Okay, so we read the story once. You followed along, hopefully, with your eyes and your fingers. And now we're ready to read it a second time, chorally, together at the same time. Ready, KB? Read along with me and point as you read. Jake plants grapes. Ready? You can plant grapes, said Mom. Did you remember to pause when you got to the comma? Jake, take that and dig. What's he digging with, KB? A shovel. Plant that grape bud, Jake. There he is, planting it into the ground. Looks like Mom's doing some raking. Maybe spring cleanup. Jake did not see grapes. Are you still reading with me? Jake, can you see big red grapes? Said Mom. Do you remember these little marks? Quotation marks. They show that somebody's talking. Mom is doing the talking on page 7. Mom and Jake ate big red grapes. The last thing I need you to do is I need you to try reading this story on your own. Don't forget that when you're done reading the story on your own, you need to go back with a highlighter, or if you don't have one, a pencil would be fine, and go on a hunt, highlighting or circling the word said and the word that. And if you're up for a super hard worker challenge, I'm going to ask that you put these 2 words into a sentence of your own. Let me show you an example of my sentences. My first sentence says, I said, sit down. See the word said in my sentence? Did you also notice that I have a capital at the beginning of my sentence and a period at the end? I even underlined the word said because that was the word we had to use in the first sentence. My second sentence says, look at that smart kid. Again, look at my sentence. I remembered to use finger spaces between each new word. I used my nice, neat handwriting. I hope you will too. So challenge yourself today, and when you're all done with your reading, go ahead and see if you can come up with your very own sentence for said and that. Great job reviewing. And one final thing I want to point out. This week's focus is on long A. We're reviewing long A. Take a look at the title of your book again. There are 2 words that have a long A, and there's only 1 word that has a short A. Listen, Jake. Jake's name has a long A, doesn't it? It says its name, A. But plants, P-O-A, has a short A, in plants. You decide, does grapes have a short or a long A? Stretch it out if you need to, and maybe look back through your book and see if you can find more short A and long A words. Hey, you could even add them to your grocery list. Bye-bye.